create the toposurface for this property, you can go to the massing and site, and this time select toposurface. Now, when you're creating a toposurface, all you need to do is place points initially at a certain elevation. So let's say your site is a little bit lower than 0, where 0 is your finished floor line for your first floor plan. So let's say, what's the OBC requirement? The site should be lowered by how much? 500 mm? Is that good enough? Yes? So let's say negative 500. Enter. Now be careful. My units is in meters. Right? So you might want to change your units. So cancel out. Oops. Cancel out. UN. So if you're used to working in millimeters, you might want to change this back to millimeters. Okay. And then click on Toposurface, place point. See, now it's at 50,000, so it should only be negative 500, but in millimeter. Okay. Let's say I have a flat area here, so I'll place points. All these points defines an elevation of negative 500. So it's flat at this area. I can go and say lower it by 1,000. Enter. Goes down to 1,000 at this area right here. It goes further down by 1,500. And then further down by 2,000. And let's say further down by negative 2,000. There's a pond here. Okay. Click OK to create your site. Now you can click on this down arrow site settings button and maybe change the intervals for your contour to, let's say, 200. So every 200 you'll get a contour line. So apply. So you'll notice that it's quite flat here, and then it goes down to negative 2,500. Okay? So there's that button right here that you can go to. Click OK. You can add a label the contours. So you can label the contours. Okay. And check the settings under massing and site, changing that to if you go 100, that will be maybe too much, right? 150. Okay, click OK. And you can always check the elevation by adding a label for your contours. When you click on label, right? When you click on label, currently the contour label height, text height is 1.5 Arial. If you want that change, you can edit the type and change the size here. But before changing the size, let's say you want it bigger, you want to duplicate this first. This is a process you normally do in Revit. So you don't just change the value, you duplicate. If you want this to be 2 mm or 3 mm, let's say, Arial, click OK. That's just for the name. You want to change the value, 3 mm. Okay, change the name, change the value. Click OK. This time, when you place a contour label, you'll see the difference, right? So that's your 1.5 mm, and that's your 3 mm label. Okay? So again, okay. Every so often, Revit will force you to save your file, just in case you forgot. So save project. Name this your initial underscore orientation. We'll just say Friday. Options. How many backup files do you want? Just say, I think one is enough. Click OK. Again, options. One, and save. Okay, if you were not forced to save yet, you can always say File, Save, and do the same option. Okay, now, so here, you can delete this. We don't need two labels or contour labels, so I can delete that. And I think 3 mm might be the right size for our contour label. Okay, so that's how you create a contour map, topography surface for your project.